It's the final of the championship season, playoff finalists Leeds and Southampton, and we are previewing it here for the final time on Terrace Talk with Steve and Joe, our fans. How are you? How's the nerves ahead of this Sunday's final? Steve, excited?
Yeah, I am excited. I think it's about time we've put right our bad form in previous playoffs, and I think no one really expected us to thrash Norwich like that. I think we thought we'd win, but I think that was a perfect way to go into the final. So yeah, I'm excited.
Brilliant. Joe, how's the nerves?
Excited, actually. I would say it's more excitement. I mean, there is nerves there, but yeah, excited, really excited just to get there, and it'll be a class day out no matter what.
Yeah, it'll be great, and you know, two big clubs in terms of fans. There's not going to be any empty seats for this one, is there? Let's chat with both teams. And first of all, let's look at Leeds. And to be fair, both of you played the away leg of your playoff semi-finals brilliantly, didn't you? You kept it tight, came away with a 0-0, and then, especially in Leeds' case, absolutely battered your opponent at home. Steve, were you surprised how good Leeds were in that semi-final against Norwich?
Yeah, I've said previously and predicted we would win that second leg. I thought the fans would turn up as well, but I think from the minute it kicked off, I was like, right, we're in here. Leeds fans are Leeds fans. Even at 3-0, we're thinking, if they pull one back, what's going to happen? I think that's just ingrained into us, this, pessimism. But, I think when you look back on, 2 wins in 9 that we've had, and we've put in some real bad performances leading up to the second leg specifically. And that first leg, I just thought, right, okay, the boys have sort of got the Reds together. They've kept it tight. It was a game of very, very few chances. I know it wasn't one for the ages by any stretch, but I think that's what we needed. I think we needed to really show a bit of tightness at the back and really show that we wanted that. So actually, we're now going in to face a really good team. Southampton have done us twice this season, but going into that under the cosh with 2 clean sheets. So yeah, maybe not what I expected from the second leg, but I'll take it all day long.
So, yeah, I thought Norwich were really, really poor, weren't they? Really poor. And for Joe, Southampton, of course, had were put to the sword a little bit more by West Brom, but again, you turned up and a really classy display, especially from midfield, put you in the final. Were you impressed or surprised by how well you did in that second game?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I kind of expected us to really turn up at home because we made home a real fortress this year at St Mary's. I thought we think we've been superb there. And for as good as we were, I thought actually West Brom were really poor. Their midfield were just overrun all the time. And yeah, I thought our midfield was top class on Friday night.
And St Mary's isn't a ground you associate with raucousness. I don't think I can remember a time when you've had the flares, you've had the music, you've had the bus, that poor bus driver, all that red smoke. Have you ever felt St Mary's as loud and as raucous as that?
Never, ever. I mean, I've been watching Southampton for years, and I've never seen a welcome like that before. Even when we made the St Johnstone Paint Trophy in 2010, that was by nowhere near as how loud it was outside St Mary's on Friday.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the pitch invasion. Just give us your thoughts on that and some of the ugly scenes we saw at the end there. Is that not a little bit cringeworthy?
Yeah, utterly ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, all these fans are saying, yeah, we went to the playoff final, but you haven't actually won anything yet. Like, save the pitch invasions for if you actually win something rather than just knocking out someone in the semi-finals. And I thought actually it was quite distasteful of us to celebrate the way we did in front of those West Brom fans, because at the end of the day, it's a football game. You don't go to a football game to start fights. You go there to watch your team play. So I wasn't really too keen on it, and I was too far up the stands anyway to make it down there anyway.
I think everyone was surprised by that reaction from the Southampton fans. I'm like, I think maybe a pitch invasion. I know what you mean. You've not won, but enjoy it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
If you're going to go jump on with the players and, start getting everyone on your shoulders. But, to rub it in the West Brom faces at the end, I think a lot of us were probably surprised that the fans did that.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it was really, really awful from a few set of fans there. Really, really bad.
Yeah, stay in your seats and sing "I Put It to Riot." That's show it should be. Steve, have you been surprised with the amount of anti-Leeds stuff that has been going on? We've heard Ipswich fans singing, Leeds are falling apart. We've had it from Leicester as well. We know Leeds are disliked. That comes with the territory of being a Leeds fan. But have you been surprised at just the amount of anti-Leeds stuff that you've been reading and seeing?
Yeah, hatred's probably the most direct way to be in it. There's a lot of teams who do want us to fail, and maybe that's because at times we are so passionate and we'll give it. We'll give the fans some stick, but no, I'm not surprised. It's lifelong Leeds fan. It's been something that I've experienced my whole life, and I've always had the other teams, giving us pelters. So, the whole Leeds are falling apart again, when we can sing that and when it's on, when the stadium's on top form, it's one of the best tunes to sing because it feels like we're giving it back. But no, I don't really care. I don't think football teams are there to make teams. I know that's me taking that passionate approach, but it should be. It's Leeds against the world, and it feels like that. I've seen some funny memes about Sunday and like all the teams. Maybe Joe, after what we've just been saying, West Brom might even be edging with Leeds now based on the last bit of the reaction from the game on Friday. But no, I don't think it'll just be the 23 other teams in the Championship that don't want us to do it. I think there'll be a few in Premier League and the leagues beyond. But no, not surprised and bring it on because it'll make it a little bit sweeter if we do win on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't think any Everton fans will be cheering you on at all. However, there was a one photograph published after the Southampton game that has made a lot more people want Leeds to win, and that was of our Prime Minister, Joe, which I wasn't aware of, that he's a big Southampton fan and he tweeted we're going to Wembley, and I think the comments were hilarious. It said, "I've now become a Leeds fan." You happy to own him as a fan?
Absolutely not. He can get the fuck off out of our club. Excuse my language. But yeah, he needs. I can't stand him. So sooner he gets out, the better. To be honest with you.
All right, let's preview the game on Sunday then, shall we? Right, the teams then. So I think Southampton's the more settled of the two. Bamford still isn't going to be back. So talk to me about your attacking options and what you would do for this, because he's got a headache, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But it's really, really difficult not to stick with the same side. I think there were a few of us that probably thought, has it worked? Peru being up top and Ruter, but minute one, Ruter did like a nice little back heel to Somerville, and that's what Ruter's all about. Obviously, he got his goal. He has to start for me. Somerville, he'll be the first name on the team sheet. Dan James is an interesting one with Gnonto. Dan James has just come back from an injury, but what a great option to be bringing off the bench. So, yeah, personally, I'm going with the same 11. If we had Bamford back, I think it'd be a really tough call, and I'm glad I'm not paid to make that decision, because even though Peru has come in for some stick, he has scored it. Like, I know it ended up being a nothing goal when Southampton beat his last game of the season, but he scored in that game, obviously 0-0 against Norwich in the first leg, and then to score again as well in the second leg, and played really well, actually. He was involved in pretty much all of the goals, or maybe not obviously the first goal with the free kick. But no, I'm sticking with the same team. Because I think we've got some good options coming off the bench. I think Bamford will be a late fitness test. I think they might be able to squeeze him on the bench, and if we can bring him on for 15, 20 or extra time, which I know I don't want extra time. I'll pass out with my nerves if it goes that far. But I think it'll be a good option off the bench. But no, I think it'll be very hard to look past what he played against Norwich in second leg.
Yeah, there's one thing for certain. There's going to be goals in this, and I have no confidence in saying that without thinking there's going to be a curse, because you've got yourselves who have been freely scoring all year, and then of course got Southampton who just don't do 0-0s. Joe, in terms of your team news, it's more about goalkeepers, I think, isn't it? McCarthy will probably continue in goal, or I think it's my choice, and Stuart Armstrong will miss out again. And what's the latest on Shea Adams?
I think it's going to be a bit like Bamford. It's going to be a late fitness test to see if we can squeeze him onto the bench. I mean, Martin's come out in the last week and said that he's looking better, but I think it would be a kind of hit and hope with him. And if he is fit, then we'll squeeze him on there. But if not, then I would personally like to see Ross Stewart get given a go, because I think he could really add something to our attack in this game.
Yeah, it was lots of fans crying out for him, wasn't it? Crikey, if this does go to penalties,
don't even want to think about that far ahead.
No, that is not something I want to think about.
Give us your three names that are first on that list for your penalty takers. Steve?
Somerville, Peru. I'm going to go Archie Gray.
Okay, right. Joe, who you absolutely three not going to miss certainties?
Adam Armstrong, Flynn Downs, and I'm going to put it out there, Will Smallbone. I'm going to throw his name into the hat as well.
I hope he doesn't miss the winning penalty.
Yeah.
Right, and then tactically, look, both two attacking teams like to have the ball. Steve, does it matter at all that Southampton have done you twice this season, or is this just another game that resets, or is that in the back of Farke's mind when he sets up the team this weekend?
I think it has to be. I think those games have to be rewatched. We have to really understand. I mean, at St Mary's, it was a bit of a pacing, to be honest. We were probably lucky to get away 3-1. I know it was a little bit tight at the second game, but the occasion probably got to us a little bit. I don't really know tactically too much what went on. I think our hope had really gone in that game. But no, I definitely think both of those defeats need to add some motivation to the players to put that right, because Southampton will enjoy that win even more so, having those 3 wins over us this season. And they're the only team that have done the double over us. So there definitely has to be something that we look into there. Hopefully Farke will, but if it was that easy, we'd have got better results against them, both times this season. Joe, even talking about some of those players there, Flynn Downs, Smallbone, both times, or any time I've really seen Southampton, always look good, tidy players, and then they've got the threats of Armstrong. So he's got a fair few things to think about, and hopefully he gets it all right.
Yeah. Bolton had beaten Oxford in both of their games and didn't go up. Crewe had beaten Crawley in both of their games and they didn't go up. So, Joe?
I'm really hoping it's not another one of, I'm really hoping we're going to break the curse, but I don't know. I mean, I would like to think so, because I think that the team that we played, Leeds that we played this season, they weren't particularly great for us, or they weren't great games from them. So I would like to think that we're in the best place possible to get up, but you never know.
Tactically then, Russell Martin got it absolutely spot on against West Brom, both home and away. How does he play this one though? Because I say, if you leave them gaps, especially pushing on, and Somerville is going to come sprinting past the wing, sprinting past the defender there. You cannot leave too many gaps, especially down the sides, can you?
No. I mean, to be fair, I thought actually the way that we set up against Leeds on the final game of the season worked perfectly. We set up with I think it was a 5-3-2 or something, and it left them no space to be able to run in behind our defenders. So if he's going to do something like that again, then brilliant, because we really limited their Nonto and Somerville to hardly anything, really. I would like to see another plan come out as well, maybe a plan C, just to be on the safe side. But we all know that Russell Martin just loves the plan A, and that's it. So it's been quite nice to see him muddle things up in the last few weeks and change the way that he plays.
And let's just talk before we get predictions then about what not going up would mean for your club and where that would leave you from all different viewpoints. Financially, obviously, we know that the package that's on offer from the Premier League. We also know that parachute payments will continue for you both, but also the Championship money is going up as well. So financially, the hit is big, but not as big as it has been in previous years. So other than financially, Steve, what would not going up mean for Leeds?
I think a big thing is what players we can keep and then attract off the back of that. I think it's well known, the Championship, the books, they seem to be forensically analysed way more than the Premier League. I know, unfortunately, Mark, your team has suffered a bit of that this season, but so many teams in the EFL get punished for not having those books quite balanced. We've seen a few reports come out recently about Leeds and what it might mean if we don't go up. I mean, I think it's fair to say players like Somerville will be going. Yes, we'll probably be able to charge a pretty fee, but then it's about what we can keep on the books past that, wage-wise. Players like Nyonto, Bamford, I know that some of the fans want to keep them. Rodon, who I've absolutely loved, I think he's been a team-changing player since he's came in to Leeds this season. I think it goes beyond that. I think, what does it mean for the level of the squad? And the last thing that we need is years again in the abyss without that, umphness of the team. So it's a big fear. I'm sure it is for Jordan and anyone else that doesn't go up is not keeping your best players. But it's then actually, can you reinvest it in really good quality other players that can make sure that you're competitive? If I'm honest, I think that the teams coming down aren't going to be massively challenging straight away. I think there's a couple of teams there that don't look great coming down. So I don't think it'll be as tightly. How can it be as tightly fought as this season? I mean, the four of us, it's been insane how many points we've collected. But it just means that the standard of Leeds and the players may well drop and may drop quite significantly.
Yeah, there's been lots of commentary on that, hasn't there? That whoever doesn't win this game is going to go up automatically, probably next year anyway, given the sides coming down. But just finally on that Leeds point, what about the manager's position, Steve? Russell Martin's is probably a bit more vulnerable than Daniel Farke's, but would there be the start of some calling for a change in manager, or were you not starting to hear that?
Yeah, I think there's always going to be pockets of fans that would probably welcome a change. Personally, I'd like to think the majority of us wouldn't like to see it change. It's not been, because yes, it will be a failure of a season if we don't go up. But what Farke essentially promised to do when he came in with the points, the goals, and looking at what the team has done, sometimes you've got to just hand it over to other teams that have been better. And I don't just mean Southampton, namely Ipswich and Leicester, what they've done in order to be above us, and how many points we've ended on to be in third and not get promoted. It's pretty unheard of. So I'd personally be keeping Farke. Don't get me wrong, if by January it's not working, then we have to reassess, don't we? But no, I think even if we don't go up, I'd like us to keep Farke.
Okay. Joe, Brighton's have lost De Zerbi, and one of the managers in the frame for that job is Russell Martin. So not going up for you almost certainly looks like one or the other. It's going to be the Russell Martin's last game. What more have you heard on that, and what other things do you worry about in terms of not going up?
I mean, I think the Martin news, I've only recently saw that in the last couple of days. I mean, I personally wouldn't be too against him, even if we did go up going next year. I think he should be given a crack at the Premier League, but half of this season hasn't really filled me with a lot of confidence to say that he would be the right man to take us to that next level in the Premier League. In regards to what it would do to us as a club financially, I think we'll be okay, because I think we've got enough money behind us. I think these new owners have come in and have set their sights on being a financially stable club. So I think we'll be okay with that. I think the big thing is the players that we'll lose. I mean, if we don't go up, then Walker-Peters is destined for a top 6 Prem side. Obviously, we won't have the option on Harwood-Bellis. Downs will go back. Brooks will go back. Rothwell, but he's not really shown much, to be honest. Other than that, I think we would be able to keep the vast majority of the squad together and fill in those gaps where it's needed, really.
Okay. Does it represent failure for Southampton if they don't go?
100%. I mean, the board, when we got relegated, came out and said we want to get Southampton back to the Premier League as quickly as possible. Now, as quickly as possible to me is the next year. So if we don't go up, then yes, it has been a failure, because we had, I think, the 3rd biggest budget in the Championship or something, or even might be the 1st. I'm not too sure, but we were definitely up there. So we really need to be pushing up there, really, rather than staying in the Championship.
Okay. Right. Well, I think this is the toughest to call playoff final that we've had in probably a decade. So I'm going to ask you both to call it first, and then I'll sit on the fence. No, I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to think a spirited 2-2 draw. With a game of 2 halves going into extra time. And yeah, I think then it'll be penalties. We'll settle on penalties. Steve, what are you going with?
Yeah. It's really, really difficult taking into so many factors about previous playoff performances, Southampton, what they've done recently, but not a football fan if you don't go into the big game expecting or hoping for that win and genuinely believing it as well. I don't think we're going to turn up to make the numbers. We need to start solidly. Both games that we've played them, I think within the first half an hour they've scored, maybe even less. So and we need to start solidly. And then from there, I think we'll build a bit of confidence. So I think it's going to be tight. Of course, it's going to be Championship playoff final, but I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds.
Okay. Joe?
Again, I think it will be a very tight game. I think we'll slightly edge it. I think it's going to be 3-2 Southampton with another classic 97th minute winner from Southampton again.
You've had too many of them this season.
Way too many. Way too many.
Listen, well, thank you both of you for all your contributions on this channel. We're going to be losing one of you, and then for the other, you're stuck with us for the 12 months as we head to Oxford and to Derby County and, of course, to Portsmouth as well. Enjoy the game. You both got your tickets, so yeah, head on to Wembley Way, and we'll be watching and enjoying, probably enjoying it more than you two will. Cheers, fellas. And yeah, if you're watching this, put a comment below. What's the score going to be? Predict. Who do you want to see go up? Thanks, fellas. Enjoy.
Cheers, gents.
Lads.